They do still believe that that wanted man is inside the house. Supporters are not backing down outside the Kent County Courthouse. Bullet holes from those bullets that came piercing through the front of the window right here. And I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just in this area. It's black, charred, and burnt up. Now there is extensive damage to this bank. You can see the windows have been boarded up. It was there that they could not locate her, but instead found burned human remains in the backyard. Right here is where the car pierced through the right side of the business and coated in water. Driving through this street, they should not be doing that. Make sure that you're not either. Just off Oakland Drive, and take a look at this. You can see one of those down power lines. Flooding was so bad yesterday, it was about knee high. And this is the storm drain right here. It came all the way up to here. This is the RV that police say someone tossed a homemade bomb underneath. And this tree came right down on top of this home, and you can see it pierce right through the center of it. Grocery store products that are scattered all across the way. You can see a huge tree came crashing down on top of this homeowner's fence and came within just inches of their home. Hundreds are gearing up to celebrate the president's 100th day in office. Traffic is able to actually get back onto those southbound lanes. The heavy traffic backups that's created right alongside Blue Star Highway. And owners say if you come out, you have to try the toboggan. So here we go. Reporting in Kalamazoo on a Pitchure News Channel. In April, Michigan's Supreme Court banned mandatory life sentences for 19 and 20-year-olds in murder cases, calling them unconstitutional. And not only does that impact future cases, but ones that happened long ago, including John Kehoe, convicted for the 1993 murder of Rose Larner. Now, we do want to warn that some viewers may find the following details disturbing.
I feel glad that he can't do this to anyone else. I feel sad that it just had to happen.
Heartbreak that's taken Rose McFarland decades to heal from, since her daughter Rose Larner was murdered and dismembered in 1993. But now she's reliving the nightmare. When I told you he has the opportunity to be resentenced, how did that make you feel?
Why should we have to go through this? I thought we were done with him. And I thought the world was safe from him.
Safe from John Kehoe, Larner's on and off again boyfriend in prison, serving life without parole for her murder. But because Kehoe was 20 at the time, a recent ruling by Michigan's Supreme Court makes him eligible for a lesser sentence and could even give him the chance to walk free. Something Calhoun County prosecutor David Gilbert wants to prevent from happening.
Homicides, they don't get worse than this. Not only was she murdered, how she was murdered. She was choked. Her throat was slit, then her body was chopped up.
Lead investigator Don Brooks, who's now retired, says Kehoe had broken up with Larner and had it all planned.
She would not let him go, and she kept pushing his buttons to the point where he said, "I'm going to end it."
On that cold December night, investigators say Larner left her home to meet up with Kehoe, who promised he'd take her back if she'd have sex with him and her longtime childhood friend, Bill Brown. The three went to Kehoe's grandparents' home in Albion, where prosecutors say they did hard drugs and had sex before Kehoe would eventually strangle Rose in the bathroom with an electrical cord and slit her throat.
Not only was it my baby, but they treated her like garbage.
After learning the FBI was on the case, Brown came forward, telling investigators Kehoe killed Larner and he pleaded guilty to being an accessory by helping dispose of her body. Prosecutors say the two burned parts of her in the basement fireplace and in a fire pit in northern Michigan. Brown testified Kehoe did the unthinkable.
Took a piece of the body that was burning in the pit, put it on a piece of bread with some mustard, and it ate it.
I'm sure you can't make sense of any of that, even today.
No, I don't want to make sense of it. That means I understand him, and I don't want to understand how he thinks.
It would be 3 years of searches without a trace of Larner until investigators say a single drop of blood at the crime scene tied the case back to Kehoe.
I mean, I don't know how the lab spotted this, but then they shot, or they put up luminol in the bathroom area where Rose was killed, and in the shower where she was cut up. And that lit up like a Christmas tree.
I spoke on the phone with Kehoe, who maintains his innocence decades later. Do you still say it's Bill Brown that was the murderer that night?
Yes, absolutely. Because when I returned to the house, Rose was dead. Bill Brown was there. He was the only one that could have done it.
The 51-year-old convicted killer has filed several appeals, which have all been denied. With the resentencing hearing on the horizon, it's now up to Prosecutor Gilbert to prove to a judge his life sentence should stand. You were not the prosecutor at the time. What pressure does this put on you to get it right?
I don't have much pressure at all. I intend to follow what my predecessors wanted. If they wanted first-degree murder with life without parole, then we will try to seek that justice.
Justice McFarland says her family deserves in order to have peace.
I owe this to my children and my grandchildren. I'm going to fight till the end to keep him in prison. I don't see no reason to let him out because he's evil.
Prosecutor Gilbert has filed a motion for Kehoe's resentencing hearing, which will be scheduled in the coming days. And if a judge decides against keeping his life sentence, the new minimum sentence could be between 25 and 40 years, up to as many as 60 years in prison. I also spoke on the phone with Bill Brown, who said he would testify again against Kehoe if necessary. In studio, Autumn Pitchure, News Channel 3. This trailer home on Arney Road sits where Tom Austin's house used to be. It was destroyed a year ago when the tornado ripped through the area and he didn't have renter's insurance. At 70 years old, he had to pick up his life and start all over again. It started as a normal day. Tom Austin, a retired Army veteran, getting his yearly checkup at the VA Medical Center.
But the very last question the nurse asked me is, do I worry about being homeless within the next 90 days? And no, I almost wanted to laugh.
But within a matter of hours, that all changed. Drone video shows Austin's mobile home one of several in the path of destruction of an EF1 tornado that tore through Branch County.
The trailer disappeared, the carpet came over the top of me, and I was in the air, and I grabbed the carpet and pulled it down on top.
So you were holding on to that carpet for dear life.
Dear life.
That saved your life, holding on to that.
That saved my life.
Austin's neighbor Dean also narrowly survived. His house flipped sideways.
Seen the house on its side. I told her, I said our house is gone.
Even while Dean lost virtually everything, he made sure to check on his neighbor.
He knew either I was there somewhere or I was on the river bottom somewhere. Really great kid.
Austin was trapped under debris from his home, Dean pulling him out.
First thing I thought of was what that nurse asked me about being homeless, and I'm looking around and I'm homeless.
He suffered 2 broken ribs, and at 70, Austin had to start over, finding a new home in Coldwater.
I had to buy everything from silverware to dishes.
The tornado did, however, spare one thing, a photo of his daughter. The woman who delivers his mail found it weeks after the tornado. It's the only personal belonging Austin has left.
Yeah, it was just a picture by itself laying in front of the mailbox over on 78.
That must have meant everything to you to just find that one picture.
Yeah. How that ended up over there is unbelievable.
Austin says May 7th is a day he'll never forget. And while building back his life hasn't been easy, he says he's just glad he has a roof over his head and is thankful no one else was seriously hurt or killed that day. In Sherwood, Autumn Pitchure, News Channel 3. Yes, and Rihanna says she's still reliving that terrifying moment every day as this is all still so fresh. She says she has no idea why someone would do something like this, especially because she didn't even know the suspect, and tells me honesty is her world and she just can't imagine life without her baby girl. Tuesday morning, Rihanna Johnson's world flipped upside down. Her 8-month-old daughter nowhere to be found in sight.
You know, next thing you know, my car is taking off with my baby in it.
Ring doorbell video captures who police say is 25-year-old Cheyenne Sanchez. You can see in the video Sanchez walk right out of the home with baby Honesty, put her in Rihanna's car, and then steal the car from the Portage home.
once the car was gone out of my eyesight, it was like my world just was ending. Like I couldn't really believe that she was gone.
Rihanna says Sanchez had unknowingly stayed the night at her house.
She's a friend of my brother, so he had her over there at my house. I don't know her. Never seen her before.
Police began searching for her 2012 black Audi Q7 and were able to find it in less than 2 hours, with an officer spotting the car 3 miles from where it was first stolen at the Lodge House on South Westnedge. While there was no sign of Sanchez, baby Honesty was still left inside the car.
You really don't have a heart and you really don't care to do something like that to an 8-month-old.
Officers located Sanchez not long after in a room at the affordable housing complex. She now faces multiple felonies after admitting to investigators she did steal the car and took the baby.
Honesty means everything to me. I was thanking God that I had my baby back.
Now, those charges Sanchez was arraigned for yesterday include unlawful imprisonment, child abandonment, stealing a car, and assaulting a police officer. Now, investigators say the motive as to why the car was stolen and why the baby was taken is still unknown. This does remain an active investigation, and we will continue to update you as we know more. Live in Kalamazoo, Autumn Pitchure, News Channel 3. Naomi was shot not once but 5 times, including in the face. They say it was all so personal. Her life meant more than that, and they're going to miss her forever. Mariah Nakin says her sister Naomi was also her best friend. They were getting ready to move in together before Naomi was gunned down Saturday in Ashtimo Township.
Our bikes, for heaven's sakes, are still at my house. We had just went on a bike ride.
Bethany Nakin also in shock, learning her sister was dead.
I just remember that feeling, just like falling to my knees and just hearing my dad's voice crack in the background. I remember his voice cracking, saying she's really gone, like she's dead.
Investigators found Naomi shot 5 times. Her boyfriend, 27-year-old Javon Bullock, charged with her murder.
Why did you have to shoot her in her pretty face? She was beautiful. Like, why'd you have to shoot her at all?
Neighbors, friends, and families say the couple had a rocky relationship, telling News Channel 3 they often saw Bullock get violent with Naomi. Did you want her to get out of that relationship?
Yeah, I did, but you can't force somebody to stop loving somebody.
Naomi's sisters don't want her to be known for the way she died. They want people to remember how she lived.
She was a social butterfly, is what my mom used to call her. She had a laugh that was so infectious. You could hear her from across from me, oh, that's Naomi.
Bethany and Mariah say their sister loved goofing around and having fun. They just wish she had told them more.
Maybe things in her life weren't going perfect, but she made a positive light out of everything.
Even during a dark time, even, when she was going through that domestic violence relationship, is that right? She still
kept a smile on her face. At first, I wanted Jay dead, but I don't want him to die anymore. I want him to suffer.
Bullock has prior criminal charges for assault and weapons. He will be back in court next Thursday. Now, if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, you can always call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. And we will also have more resources for you on our website, wwmt.com. In studio, Autumn Pitchure, News Channel 3.